Hello, everyone out there. This is an amazing day, like every other day and every day going forward. Um, so, with this, just going to do a little Ascension update and a little energetic update, and then I'll open it up for some questions. And any questions pretty well goes with this. For with the planetary ascension, everything is all inclusive, meaning that really there is no question that is not relevant. So, having said that, what's going on with the ascension, huh? Well, the ascension is going at a great speed forward, let's say with the amount that we are seeing awakening that is expanding every moment, every day, more and more are awakening, uh, substantiating that it is really an ascension that is occurring. So accrediting it and also validating it that you can see it. And you can see it within the masses, the amount of people that are standing up as well. And you also see the higher consciousness going higher and higher. And with this ascension, it is important, as everyone knows, to keep open because truths, if you will, are not constant. And we are constantly changing. So as you learn something at one level, it's important not to draw a conclusion on it, for there is more to come. And one way to look at it is that you're down in the fourth density, um, perhaps in drawing etheric information and divine information from the dimensional space above, whether it be 5, whether someone labels it 12. Uh, that really does not matter. What matters is that you have at least the first rope, if you will, with the grappling on it into the 5D and the 5 dimensional state of being, and that's what's occurring. And everyone that is going forward is doing that. Now, with the overall ascension, not only is every individual contributing to advancing the timelines, there is also other divine mechanisms that many levels, not only on the individual level, but on the whole divine level as well. And the sun does play, let's say, one of the most significant roles in this ascension. And as many of you know, it's great to that you are experiencing, what you are feeling, your ascension symptoms, so the whole kit boodle, if you will. But having said that, there's so many out there that are delivering these same basics and much more now. So it's more so ones require the now moment update on what is occurring to propel them forward as well. So currently there has been many upgrades individually again. What is occurring now is not everyone is experiencing the same upgrades at the same time. And the reasoning for this is that you have so many at different levels. So you have some at this level experiencing certain symptoms, some at this level experiencing some other symptoms. You may have some down here not experiencing any symptoms yet. It all depends upon the individuals and the groups and the levels and what is going on with your physical vessel in respect to how advanced it is in the crystalline process. And having said that, your diet is still important upon the planet, and that's what expedites your crystalline process as well. So you have a certain amount of energy in your field here, what activates and propels you forward. And to keep it simple, if you have a lot of chemicals and things in your food, it takes a lot of your energy to contend with that. Then your biological vessel does not tend to advance very quickly. But when it is also subjugated to the activation energy, then if one is not, let's say, so meticulous with their diet, their discomforts will be more intense than someone that is taking a better care of their temple, their biological body. And having said this, if this was not so, you would not have seen the trend, especially in the last decade, of many becoming vegetarian, many going to organic and natural foods, and rediscovering and knowing the full value of it, but also knowing how it affects their vessels with higher vibration. And with higher vibration comes more of the joy, more of the miracles, more of the multi-dimensional experiences. So it is important to take care of your health. Having said that, I'm sitting here saying this, smoking a cigarette. But once again, everything in this tobacco that I am smoking is organic, so there's no chemicals in there to contend with. And with this smoking tobacco, it's for I just used as a tool for this body for now. But there comes the time when we're ready to depart out of the fourth density that these sort of things does go as well. But they're very important tools, and as most of you know, indigenous peoples and indigenous ceremonies, for millennia, use a form of tobacco in most of their ceremonies when connecting with spirit. So having said that, that shows you that there is some importance with it and what it does and what it assists with. I'm not saying everyone go out and start smoking cigarettes, but what I am saying is that for certain individuals there is the uniqueness that you do utilize it as a tool. At this point, it's no addictions and no habits with this, and I know there are more of you that can attest to what I just said as well. So the energetic updates, the sun, as we know, is very active, and I was very pleased to see the scientific community at least a few days ago put out new energy waves they discovered from the sun, and some other new things that was kind of unexplained to them. And it has been mentioned, perhaps, for the last few years, from time to time when I was instructed to put out certain updates that there would be new energy uh, being administered to the planet. So you can say this is documented once again in the scientific community. And I'm very grateful for the scientific community at paying more attention to the metaphysical and etherical realm, and for understanding that now nothing is by chance. And in reality, nothing is trivial any longer. You need to pay close attention to your actions, keep completing your mastery, and by your mastery is overcoming any fears and any of the negative old ways that you have within you. Now, you're still contending with certain negativity, if you will, externally at times, and this is part of your divine contributions uh, to assist with the overall ascension. And for the most part, we do not fully escape the negative, the fourth density, until we have humanity put forth into the fifth density, the fifth state of being, where everything is harmonious and is of love. And, you know, we are this close to that. We are right on the cusp, right on the brink of doing this. And what does it is the worldwide unity, but it takes the, uh, let's say, the masters upon the planet and all of the advanced divine individuals to come together. And because they have the co-creator capacity within each of them, and as they go through their mastery, then they become more endowed with the co-creator power. So when you have all of these coming together, and at this time as I speak, timelines have been set up for the individuals that they do all converge. And once you have this very powerful divine co-creator community all together, it sets off what you could call a flashpoint, but you are in it and experiencing it very rapidly, fanning open at least to the 5D, the fifth density. So again, we are all put upon the planet, and without any bad ego, I am an important figure upon the planet, but I'm not the only one. There's over 4 million of us that are upon the planet, and as Father told me long ago, we are a team. So there is not one, it's all together. And this is the only way to take things forward for this mission upon the planet. It's not about self. This is not about Rick. This is not just about you. It's about humanity and lifting humanity out of the savagery and into an advanced state of being. So a very important task, a very important role, but it's also very real, as we all know. There is no refuting nor denying who we are and what we are doing upon the planet. And as many of you can also attest, miraculously, You know, you've been perhaps attacked, targeted in the past, but you're still here and you've become stronger. So, you know, in the least, this tells you that it's ascertained that you get the mission done, and we do. And again, we're this close to having it done. So, with the recent energetics, also what many are contending with the biological vessels, is there is always a divine enhanced immunity that is within the photonic light codes that activates immunities as you advance forward with your biological body process from carbon to crystalline. So you have many things occurring at once, and this is why it also can be a little confusing for ones. But again, everyone is told just to follow what you feel as close as you can. For example, if you are feeling sleepy, lay down and don't fight against it. And if you're feeling very heavy, again, rest. Do not fight against it. But also at the same time, all of the natural remedies have been put on the planet as well to assist with your advancement. So you can use some of these remedies to alleviate your symptoms and to make it more comfortable for you. And to make it the most comfortable is to be very meticulous with your foods and the chemicals that may be contained in them, and also your environment during these times. So these are some things that assist in keeping your vibration higher. Then you have more energy within your space as you're dealing with the symptoms, but with more energy. Then it's not as uncomfortable as some may get, for things are occurring more rapidly. And when you are receiving these upgrades and these activations, once they come in to your energetic being, and if your energy is at the highest vibration possible and fully compatible with the physical vessel, then the integration, the incubation process is much easier and quicker, and you do not become inundated by so many symptoms. And also, it's very important to have the awareness and the knowledge of what is going on. And also, it's so important with your consciousness to always attribute any symptom that you are having to the Ascension. Do not attribute any symptom you are having to an orthodox medicine, a 4D perspective. Do not do that, because the moment you do something like that, and if you're endowed with a very powerful co-creator ability, you're going to begin to create things for yourself that are unnecessary. So with your co-creator abilities, you always create the highest, and that is the highest outcome, and that assists, and it also makes your navigation in this beautiful time much more easier and much more comfortable. So yeah, it's a wide array of effects coming in constantly. I requested for some electrical lightning energy over the Netherlands, so that will arrive on divine timing, and thank all of you for answering that call. And also, we had to activate a certain area in India, and one of the reasons with this, I and Femke and all of you, we work multi-dimensionally, so we're not just energetically working in the 4D. We are also bringing down the higher dimensional energies and connecting them into the 4D to advance the Terra Gaia forward and all of humanity into higher vibrational dimensional space. So to do that, we work also up in the other dimensional layers to attach it to this layer to take it forward. If we did not do that, for example, if no one knew that God existed and if no one knew they were divine, Gaia and Terra would always be in the third dimensional state, just as an example. So this is why it's so important that all of us work on the multi-dimensional levels as well to assure this planetary ascension gets done. And let me say with that, as a result of the last 2 years, because of the Ernst and the great prowess of all of you, if you will, you have shortened 10 years of linear time from 2020 to 2030. You compress that right into this now, which is an incredible energetic feat, meaning that events that may not have occurred until 2030, if it was just a do as you feel progression, then it would have taken that long. But many have stepped up and said, no, you know, we're doing more, you're working hard, you're doing everything that is possibly given to you, that you're guided to do. And as a result of doing that, we have compressed everything worldwide into, let's say, this last 2 years. So it's important, again, with this for no one, any Ascension teacher or anyone for that matter, to give dates on any of this, because it is variable. It depends on so many variable factors. It depends upon individuals. It depends on the overall energetics of the planet. It depends on if things need to be divinely changed, tweaked up with the divine plan. So the main thing is just have no expectations on a linear date. Just know that it all gets done, and that we're getting it done a lot quicker. And as we said, it takes the worldwide unity of the most powerful Ascension teachers and spiritual leaders coming together and connecting as one unified energetic co-creator field as well. And that's what also propels the Ascension forward, and also has the full capacity and ability to cause an instant flash and shift, as I mentioned prior. So having said this, it is aligning now, and at any moment I anticipated that this unity by the higher ones will begin to occur. Now, I used the term higher. What I mean with that is they have higher roles to play in this now. And where we are going forward, everyone truly is equal with it. But there are certain ones upon the planet that are designated with very important divine roles that are connected to the overall divine plan. And these ones need to step up to their roles. And as I said, as they do, it expedites things forward. So, I'll have a look and see if there's any questions down below in the comments. Thanks, Bonnie. Yes, these can be translated. So once they're up for about a day, these videos, when they're put on YouTube, it takes, I believe, about a day, and then the closed caption works, and they can be watched with, I think, perhaps 70 different languages. I'll just have a look back and see if there are any questions while I was rambling on. And see, Bonnie says, asking the question could give the answers to others here. And absolutely, this is what we mentioned, you know. There is no question that is irrelevant. And also, it's by asking the question, it's not just the answer for one that may ask it. That answer pertains to many, and it also assists the groups with more of a broader understanding. So by coming together and, as an example, doing this live here and answering some questions, it compiles a lot of information for many individuals, and gives them more of an insight if they need direction on their journey, and also with knowledge comes further empowerment and enlightenment as well. And that's what this is all about. And the Ascension, each one assisting the others in creating your community. We are going forward, you know, if you wish to look at what's occurring, we are actually in a rapture. It doesn't matter if a rapture is mentioned in religion. We are in a rapture right now. It's the upliftment and the increasing in the consciousness, and that cannot be denied nor refuted by anyone. So you can say, yes, the rapture is occurring. It's occurring right now. And having said this, there should not be any concrete expectations on what occurs. Everyone needs to just keep open and watch how this unfolds, because what is occurring, this has not been written about. It's unprecedented. You are finding yourself having all of these gifts activated that you did not know before, and many of you are finding that you have more of an ability to co-create, to change the reality. And this has not been written about 2,000 years ago. What was written 2,000 years ago were some clues for the foundation for this period that began about a decade ago, at least 2012. So having said this, all of the answers are in the now, and as you go forward, you can use 2,000 years ago and as a guide, but also understand that it depends on how you are perspecting and interpreting some of the clues that were put there. So again, it is important to know this, and also to not have any expectations. You know, a lot of religion and beliefs, whatever it may be, has been manipulated to some degree. And one of the things I was thinking about earlier today, they have a stereotype for Jesus to be love, all love, compassion, performing miracles. Uh, and that is how they believe Jesus is. But one thing that they're leaving out is that, Jesus got angry at least once, that is written about, and when he flipped the tables on the moneymakers. So that's an important piece from the past to know that along with great love and compassion what Jesus has, there is also that sternness that needs to be there to transition and take things forward. If everyone was to just be in love and harmony, the darkness has done this. If you look at it today, what has occurred, you can see that all of the good people, for the most part, have been taken advantage of, enslaved, and what have you. But we are in the great times, and so all of that is being broken. Having said this, all of the religious communities as well at this time are being more connected to knowing what is going on with the Ascension. And some of them attribute a label of the New Agers. However, in this time, again, you need to see all of this all come together. And with this unity, again, it takes everything forward. So everything is divinely guaranteed to occur. Just one thing with it is the timing of it, because it depends, as I mentioned earlier, on more than one factor. There are several variables of time that it takes to do it. So it's also important with all of the co-creators, all of you out there, do not put so much of your energy or your focus on the past, how things were. It's so important to know that everything is changing, keep going forward to the harmonious world, and that's where you wish to put your focus and be aligned with, because this is the timeline that takes you forward. So if you're aligned with great good change, then you do not spend so much time flailing around in the lower density and becoming, if you will, a victim to the lower density ways, to the matrix and what have you. So it is important that you keep your focus aligned with going forward. Going forward into a reality where you are absolutely free and abundant and in harmony with others, and the complete unity and community of a world that, let's say for the most part, has been unknown to mankind in the past. So it's important just keep going forward and know that there is a very real, a very true and guaranteed direction for humanity. And as you align your focus with that, you begin very quickly to get your own confirmations to see that it is so. So I'm scrolling down, so looking at perhaps a question here. I believe Bonnie might have answered this from time. So in the comments, thank you, Bonnie, and anyone else that are answering some other questions, and specifically also with the divine plan, which is titled gpms.world. This is the deliverance into providence for all, and it's at the bottom of my screen here. You can see as well. And with this, I suggest all that believe in Jesus, all of Christianity, and all that believe in God to become part of this divine plan to take yourself, your families, and your children forward into this rapture that is occurring at this time. We are creating the new world. With this, your prayers have been answered. Many universal laws, many divine laws in the past were violated by the darkness. So your prayers have been answered. What you but with every passing day, more and more of you are beginning to see. So what GPMS is, it's not a hope, it is not a fantasy, it is a guaranteed reality that you are emerging fully into. So know more about it and choose it and become part of it. So Ryan asks, how can we do more re-GPMS if people still won't listen? With this, anyone writing the divine plan, God's plan for the planet, you share without expectation the information, and you don't go out in the street, beat someone over the head and say, hey, look, this is GPMS. No, ones will come to you, and the ones that are receptive and open to the ultimate solution, the direction to go forward, then you purvey the information to them. So you do not expend energy on ones that are rejecting it or not listening, for this is a soul mechanism that they have in place, which is a divine thing, that it doesn't matter what you do, if that divine mechanism attached to the soul contract is in place, they will not see anything about it until it's time. So you need to appreciate and respect that fully and recognize it, and do not expend energy. GPMS is a very important, the most important divine decision that any would ever have to make upon the planet. So there is a certain protocol be part of this. It's written, if you will, into their contract, for they are star seeds, they are incarnates of advanced souls that are also here to continuously, in the near future, deliver humanity forward. So this, and this is one of the important reasons why every child's voice, even if they're 1 minute old, that their parents as their guardians can register their vote with it. And it's divinely assured that their voices are heard because they are a part of this. You're looking at this as a GPMS, as a worldwide vote. And with that, it's a vote for who's going forward into the new world. And the children are going, and they have every human right, but every divine right to choose in this material world right now to be a part of this deliverance and heaven on earth, if you will. So, let's see what else we have here. Any other questions? Okay, so Kev Strong has a question there. His question is, how can one interpret the connection to constantly seeing numbers, the repetitive numbers, 11, 11, 10, 10, 17, 17, 15, 15. One of the things I suggest is that there are legitimate divine websites out there with angel numbers on them, and I think Joanna Scribes is the name of one, and these ones are give a very good answer and instruction on what some of these numbers mean, and also within these angel numbers, if you will, is some guidance. And what I will say is I have from time to time in the past looked at these her interpretations, what she has put there, and for I say yes, they are excellent guidance and they do pertain. So with the numbers as well, one needs to also appreciate when you begin to see these repetitive numbers, one thing is that it is astronomical odds associated with it that you are seeing that these repetitive numbers all the time. So number one, what it does, it raises your vibration. So you could look at these repetitive numbers being timed and also placed by you in times when you needed your vibration uplifted a bit. And when you see that and you see these numbers, you know that something else cool or supernatural is occurring, and much more. So they are multi-purposed, and also there are messages contained with the numbers. And having said this, any one number or any one thing that you see or experience does not contain just one message. It is multifaceted. It multi-levels with it. And it also depends sometimes upon where you're at in the consciousness, how you perspect and perceive the signs that you are getting. And this is also why I mentioned earlier that with your truth, that do not be constant in it and allow it to evolve, for you may see a different get a different message further on as you go forward. Thanks for that, Kevin. So, this is looking great. Any more questions right now? I'm down at the bottom, I believe. So, I'll give a minute or so. If there's no more questions, I believe I will end this. The outlook going forward, if you will, on the lower timelines and the timeline that you're on, and for the most part, all of you that are watching this, you also again need to know that you are experiencing a duality, two different states of being, and with these two different states, let's say a fourth dimensional state and a fifth dimensional state, you also have a fourth dimensional timeline, which is the lower one, and a fifth dimensional timeline. So having said this, the fourth dimensional timeline, some of the main actors in there, their themes are destructing very rapidly, and again, the 5D, the highest timeline, goes forward, and it's being built every moment with this. So, yes, and timeline jumping, let's just say with that, the other day, one of your confirmations that you are not constant in time and that you could be jumping timelines is that little objects will appear and disappear. And what is actually occurring? The objects per se are not appearing and disappearing. It's actually you, where you're not constant in time and you are fluctuating on different timelines, which is very cool. So you're actually having multi-dimensional experiences with this. So having said this, what can occur is you could lose an item to not see it again because you had made a significant shift on a new timeline where it doesn't exist and where it never existed. But also, if you're making these little shifts back and forth, if you're mainly residing on two timelines, then items can appear and disappear and come back. So it gets kind of cool with that as well, because it's a dimensional displacement of yourself as you're progressing forward. And again, with this, there is, for all of you, you are working on multiple timelines and multiple dimensional states. So there is that fluctuation that occurs with it. And within the fluctuations are the byproducts of your experiences as well. So great. Okay, so this is looking good. Got a little bit of noise there, but I see you can change the pace of time consciously if it is divinely approved and under certain circumstances. Having said this, again, that it does occur, and many of you have experienced it, and also it is part of your soul's growth as well to experience these, if you will, paranormal, supernatural things, to because it further accreditates the consciousness at knowing in your development that there are many things out there that you become to know that this world is not as it seems, if you will. With this, I'm getting some distractions around here and some noises, so that is a divine timing for me to shut this down, is how I'm looking at it. So I thank you all. Bonnie, I just, what are you asking? It says, will you go over the time, stop, and start again? I believe with that, yes, you can miss a day, you can gain a day, you can live the same day over as well. All of these experiences are very real. So you can have that groundhog day effect, if you will, like the movie, and that's very real as well. But within that movie, there's a very important message that, until one gets it right. So you practice your divine virtue, your choices of action and reaction, and then when you are doing everything most virtuous and of the higher consciousness, then you see that in your experience you move forward. So, okay, so great. You're welcome, everyone, and this will be a short one. Yahoo, 53 minutes. And so, having said this, thank you all for joining, and love and light and much gratitude. And we got this. And have a nice morning, day, night, wherever you may be. Thank you.